true story is told of a young couple who had just brought their newborn home from the hospital. Their 4-year-old watched expectantly as the infant was settled in the crib. The parents left the nursery, and upon returning a few moments later, they saw the older brother leaning over the crib's edge, saying, "Tell me what God's like. I forgot." Perhaps you, like me, have had those moments when we feel just like that. Tell me what God's like. I forgot. As we've already mentioned, our 3 legs, the physical, mental, and spiritual, are closely intertwined, and each affects the other. Certainly one of the blessings of this period is the opportunity to reevaluate the spiritual aspect of the tripod that is each one of us. Still another facet of our lives that we can control. If you have a chance to visit our nation's Capitol building in Washington, D.C., most likely your guide will have you stand on one side of Statuary Hall while he or she stands on the other. They will then speak in a whisper, and you will be able to perfectly hear their words as though they were just inches away. This phenomenon is known as the whispering spot and is made possible by the way the dome is constructed. The whispering spot. The words remind me of a passage in 1 Kings. "And behold, the Lord passed by, and a great and strong wind tore the mountains and broke in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire the sound of a low whisper." Elijah heard the whisper. Several years ago, I came across an article by Mark Batterson, and his thoughts greatly impacted how I viewed my spiritual life. If you carefully examine the stories in the Bible, you will find whispering spots threaded throughout. For Jacob, it was Bethel. For Moses, it was a burning bush. For Samuel, it was the tabernacle at Shiloh. And for David, it was the cave at Adullam. For Elijah, it was Mount Carmel. For Daniel, it was an upstairs window facing Jerusalem. And for Jonah, it was the belly of a whale. Without a doubt, there are times when we need to make requests of God. Paul wrote to the Philippians, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God." There are times for lament and for praise. Just check out the Psalms. But I also think there are times for silent prayer and for just sitting in the presence of God, releasing our control and our agenda, just listening for the whisper. Paul wrote to the Romans, "We do not know what we should pray for, but the Spirit prays in our place with groaning which is unspoken." I firmly believe that God still inspires our thoughts and desires and opens doors for us, but often we're just too busy to notice. I understand this may be especially difficult for those of us parenting small children, but having a place for peace and quiet with God can squelch anxiety, fear, and even frustration. I would suggest that you try to find a personal whispering spot, and that doesn't just happen, but it must be carefully designed. It involves turning down or eliminating voices and doggedly eliminating distractions. It can be found by silencing the radio or CD while running errands, or perhaps by taking a break from entertainment or social media. The words of Jeremiah are still telling, "You will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart." Just 5 to 10 minutes a day is a good place to start. Employing meditation practices that have been part of the Christian tradition for 2,000 years can be very helpful. Practicing deep breathing techniques and using a word or phrase to bring the mind back to God if it wanders away is also very beneficial. Most importantly, the Whispering Spot should be as unique and individual as you are, and not viewed as another source of pressure or apprehension. It's rather a time to slow the world down a bit and anticipate moments with the one we love.